Everybody, welcome back to a new post today. Let's do the weekly economic issues for the UPSC 2026 examination for week January 11th to 17th. So what are the important economic issues that made news during this week? The very first is about the negative FDI in fourth month in a row. Now India's net FDI turned negative for a fourth consecutive month in November 2025. This is according to an RBI bulletin, and this trend indicates capital outflows primarily through profit repatriation and also disinvestment as well. This have exceeded the fresh equity inflows into the economy. So why is this happening? So foreign countries are aggressively booking profits and sending them home. In November alone, repatriation and disinvestment hit a 5-month high of $5.3 billion. The cautious number two is cautious investor sentiment being driven by uncertainty over the India-US trade deal and weakening rupee in the aftermath of the sanctions that are being imposed, the tariff war that is going on between the US and other countries as well due to the Iran and Russia war as well, which recently hit a record lows, and the rupee is standing at almost 91.9 per dollar. And the third most important reason is Indian companies are investing heavily abroad. So with the $1.5 billion outflows recorded in November itself. Now foreign direct investment is a major monetary source for economic development in India. Foreign companies invest directly in fast growing private businesses to take benefits of the cheap wages in India, along with the bright business environment as well. Economic liberalization started in the wake of 1991, and after that we've seen FDI steadily increasing in India and subsequently generating more jobs as well. There are different types of FDI which are permitted: horizontal, vertical, conglomerate, and your platform. There are two routes of FDI, automatic and the government route. And among the states and UTs that stand most that benefit from FDI include Delhi, Gujarat, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. And the next issue is about Venezuela oil. Now did we ever import Venezuela oil in India? What is the situation of Venezuela after Maduro was taken away by the US president and Delcy Rodriguez now became the interim president? Situation seems to be under control of the US. Now US is eyeing the Venezuela oil reserves in the Orinoco Basin, and Trump says that he is going to take control to produce oil from Venezuela and also export oil from there. So Venezuela is India's 7th largest source of crude oil. Let me tell you, after Iraq, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Nigeria, United States and Kuwait, accounting for 3.4% of the country's oil imports in March-December 2020. But in the aftermath of 2020, due to US sanctions, we have reduced imports. India was amongst the largest buyers of crude oil, purchasing almost 4 lakh barrels at a peak. The flows came to a halt in 2020 with USA imposing sanctions and made purchases very risky and logistically unviable as well. Let me tell you, ONGC Videsh, India's flagship overseas oil arm, has operated the San Cristobal oil field in Venezuela, but India has stopped operations due to the sanctions imposed by USA to block key equipment, technologies and oil field services as well. Venezuela has cleared also to clear the dividend payments to OVL. Once the restrictions are lifted, ONGC can shift the drilling equipment which we have from Gujarat to Venezuela oil fields, and Venezuela can produce more oil along with India cooperating as well, to up to 80,000 and 1 lakh barrels per day because of its huge continental shelf and vast oil and gas reserves. The USA control of Venezuela oil will also mean positivity to India. Once that starts, this will mean that the dues that are overdue to OVL, that is ONGC Videsh Limited, the overseas arm of ONGC, can be paid off, and Indian firms can expand their presence in Venezuela. OVL has 11% stake in the Carabobo oil field along with Indian Oil and Oil India as well. And before the sanctions, India and China accounted for 35% of oil imports from Venezuela. US supported actions would give India an alternative to the Middle East oil resources, and also help India to play a bargaining role in the global markets as well. Department of Fisheries under the Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy is organizing the very first roundtable conference with ambassadors and high commissioners of seafood export promotion countries. So this is for strengthening the bilateral trade and international market linkages. India is the world's second largest aquaculture producer and one of the leading producers of fish and aquatic foods. Over the years, the sector has transformed from a predominantly subsistence activity to a commercially robust export-oriented ecosystem spanning farming, seeding, processing, cold chains, logistics and value addition, while continuing to support millions of small and marginal fishers and farmers also. So they are supported by targeted schemes by the government of India. India today ranks 6th largest exporter of fish and fishery products. In 2024-25 itself, it stood at 16.9 lakh million metric ton, valued at 62,408 crore, contributing 18% to India's agriculture exports. The deliberations at this meeting will focus on sustainable, traceable, value-added seafood trade. India is now asking its fishermen to diversify the exports to other countries in view of the sanctions being imposed by USA. Discussions will also focus on strengthening resilience in the seafood value chain to climate and market risk. Key thematic areas are also included in the discussion, like standard certification, regulatory cooperation, traceability, digital reporting, cold chain infrastructure, etc., all which will benefit the fisheries and the aquaculture sector, contributing more to India's GDP and also export basket. Now, the Kisan Sabha has flagged criticisms to the seed bill. What do the farmers say? What are the concerns of the farmers? The All India Kisan Sabha, a constituent of the Samyukt Kisan Morcha, said that the bill poised to increase the cost of cultivation by allowing the corporates to indulge in predatory pricing of the seeds and the changes brought by the seed bill. The doubt is that the bill will be a part of a larger political subject for the RSS and the BJP to dispose smaller farmers and surrender the seed sovereignty to multinational and domestic monopolies. They also demand that the new draft must not complement and conflict the legal safeguards that they have under the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act of 2001 and also India's commitments under the International Convention on Biological Diversity, the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture. The Kisan Sabha pointed out that the Seeds Bill heavily centralizes and corporatizes the regulatory system, weakening the farmer-centered protection and diluting India's legal architecture. So what exactly does the Seed Bill contain that the farmers are protesting against it? Now, the seed bill is a regulatory step to ensure quality seeds are sold and distributed to the farmers. It promotes ease of doing business according to the Government of India and reduces climate compliance burden. It also maintains strong provisions to penalize serious violations. Now, this bill will replace the Seed Act of 1966 and the Seeds Order of 1983. The country has an overall requirement of 462 lakh quintal ton of seed, and we produce more. We produce 508 lakh quintal, which is a surplus. The seed industry has been demanding that the act should be amended to accommodate technological and scientific advancements in the sphere of seeds to address changes in trade commerce over the last 6 decades. The Federation of the Seed Industry has said that the draft is a timely step, but the farmers, Samyukt Kisan Morcha, an umbrella body of the farmers, say that it opposes the move. Now, the bill provides that it provides a regulatory mechanism for importing, production and supply of quality seeds. It does not restrict the right of the farmer to grow, sow, resow or use or exchange or share or sell his farm seeds, but then it defines a farmer, dealer, distributor and producer as separate entities that deal with production, distribution, trade and use of seeds. It also establishes central and state committees. Basically, it does not allow the farmer to sell the seeds under a brand name, and therefore it clearly defines who is a farmer, who is a dealer, who is a distributor, who is a producer. And it also establishes the central and state. Like any regulatory mechanism, it has all the institutional bodies that are needed for regulation of the seed, but the intention of the seed bills is being conflicting with the farmers' interests. They say that the sale and the distribution of seeds will be monopolized by the corporates and also be given in the hands of few, which will definitely endanger the food security of India and also the farmers' income as well, and may make the farmers liable to costly seeds in the future. So these are some of the concerns. Now the cabinet has okayed a 5,000 rupee crore infusion into the Small Industries Development Bank of India. It is a positive development for the MSMEs, which contribute to a major production and manufacturing ecosystem of India's industry. The equity capital will be infused in 3 tranches, and SIDBI will expand its branch network and launch digital and sector-specific credit products. It will benefit 2.75 million new MSMEs, which will receive financial support, and the SIDBI will be able to scale up its ability to serve up the MSMEs. Let me tell you, MSMEs contribute to the economic growth, to the manufacturing output and also exports. They contribute immensely to the job creation in the country, employing over 25 crore people. It fosters innovation, entrepreneurship, bridging the urban-rural divide. It also is a key pillar of Make in India's initiative of the Government of India, supporting local manufacturing and supply chains. The United Forum of Bank Unions, has now observed as an all India strike to implement a demand for a 5-day week work order. The strike caused significant disruptions to physical banking services across the country, and the strike was due to the government's delay to formally approve a proposal for a 5-day week work in all banks, as agreed by the Union Forum of Banks Unions and the Indian Bank Association. So there is now going to be increased connectivity between West Bengal and Assam, especially to the Kamakya temple in Guwahati, where we have the first Vande Bharat sleeper train launched by the Government of India on January 17th, which connects Kamakya in Guwahati and Howrah. It is a sleeper coach with an operating overnight service and reduces the travel time to just 14 hours, offering 16 coaches. And the speed with the semi-high speed Vande Bharat train will cover a distance of 972 with kilometer route, with modern facilities including enhanced safety and automatic doors as well. Pragati, Proactive Governance for Timely Implementation, has completed the 50th meeting chaired by Prime Minister. It is an ecosystem which leads to monitoring and resolution of issues across multiple levels of governments. And the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has released India Pharmacopoeia, which is India's official book on drug standards. India Pharmacopoeia serves an official book of standards of drugs in the country and is a cornerstone for India's regulatory framework for pharmaceuticals. The India Pharmacopoeia is published by the Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission on behalf of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Government of India is to fulfill the requirements of the Drug and Cosmetics Act of 1940. The IP prescribes official standards for drug produced and marketed in India and contributes to control and assurance of quality of medicines. The standards of the IP are authoritative and legally enforced, and India is, let me tell you, is a major pharmaceutical destination for the world over. We are the pharmacy of the world, producing drugs at a very cheap price. Now, the Department of Science and Technology has established 15 inclusive technology business incubators, promoting innovation across the universities and higher education institutions in different parts of the country, aimed at democratizing innovation, entrepreneurship beyond metropolitan centers. The Inclusive Technology Business Incubator, or ITBI, established under the National Initiative for Developing and Harnessing Innovation Program. Science, technology, innovation have been accorded unprecedented importance even in the Constitution. India is no longer a passive consumer of technology, but now we are becoming technology creators and service providers, along with solution providers and innovators as well, and with structured support system spanning across the entire innovation life cycle, from research infrastructure to academic excellence to incubation, startups and industry collaboration. The RBI has now proposed a proposal to the Government of India to link digital countries of the BRICS countries in the 2026 summit. The move could reduce reliance on the US dollar. geopolitical tension already. None of the BRICS countries have launched their digital countries. All the 5 members are running pilot projects. India's digital currency e-rupee has attracted a total of 7 million retail users since its launch in 2022. And now RBI promoting a digital currency among the BRIC nations to reduce its reliance on dollar and also to improve economic cooperation between the BRICS country, where we can also plan to become a customs union and a monetary union in future as well. Wider market, more demand, more supply, more jobs creation and more supply chain as well globally. So these are the most important issues I wanted to discuss with you with regard to the week 2 for economy of the week. If you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video. I shall see you in my new post. Until then, it's very happy learning.